Yo, 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 yo. What is up, everybody? We are looking a little different tonight. It's only me soloing this pod, but you know what? We had to do it because Mr. A.J. Brown is now a New England Patriot. I think we all knew this was going to happen, right? But really the question is, how high should we be drafting A.J. Brown? what's the realistic outcome for his year in 2026? Everybody talks about the knee, him reading books all the last 2 years, him kind of giving up on the Eagles. He's got attitude problems. He's a cancer in the locker room, all these things. But I just think people forget that A.J. Brown just 2 years ago was a top 5 wide receiver in the league. Top 5 wide receiver in the league. And we're going to fade this man now that he gets a massive quarterback upgrade. Now that he gets to be on a team that obviously loves him since they traded a first-round pick in 2028 to acquire him. This is just, it's crazy to me that people are not as in on A.J. Brown as they should be. To me, A.J. Brown should be going in the, I'd say mid-second as of right now, but I would even be willing to take him earlier than that. Let's hop into a puppy draft over here on Underdog. We'll talk more about it. But yeah, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Sunday Concessions Fantasy Edition. Like I said, this is a little bit different because we don't have Caleb here, my co-host, my man. He is not able to hop on with us tonight, but that is fine because we're going to be hopping into this best ball draft. We're going to be doing it solo, so I'm going to need lots of participation. I don't see any movement. Where's Ninja? Shout out Ninja. But yeah, so one other thing I just want to say, looking down into the comments here, you'll see that we are actually live for the first time tonight over on Abundant TV, the Abundant TV network. We just signed with them this past week. Well, it was probably a while ago. Trey would know all of that, but we are live currently right now. So if you go look in the comments, see the comment that Sunday Concessions posted, there's a link for the Abundant TV live stream where we are currently live over there as well. You can check us out every Saturday evening, every single Saturday evening from 7 p.m. Eastern time. And the Abundant TV app, you can get it on your phone, but you can also oh, look, somebody is on this draft. Let's go. I'm going to shout you out in just 1 second. Give me a minute, my man. But yeah, so anyway, you can go check out that show. We'll be there live. If you have a Roku TV or an Amazon Fire TV, you can stream Abundant on there. They have the instructions on their website. If you have Apple TV, you can stream it on there. So lots of cool things going on over here at Sunday Concessions. But the big thing right now is best ball. We got the big sweat in here. The big sweat. Let's go. He's here at spot 9. Look at him. Oh gosh. So I'm gonna have to not announce my picks. Don't be screen peeking. Anybody play Halo as a kid? Screen peeking, man. Can we just admit at this point that we all were screen peeking back in the day? 100%. 100% I was screen peeking when I was playing with friends. It's the only way to get the edge. But shout out to you, Cam Drew. I'm guessing your real name's Andrew or Cam Drew. What is your real name? Anyway, welcome and glad you hopped in this draft. Let's see how you do here. We got Troy in here as well. What's up, Troy? Said he's been working on some mocks to see where everyone's being picked. Yeah, dude. I know you said you're more of a redraft player, correct? If that's so, yeah, this is a great way to prepare for the season by doing these best ball drafts. Because even though the ADP is a little bit different, it's really not that different. And I'll tell you what, man, I'm getting stuck with this 12th pick over and over and over and over again. I've taken so much Ashton Genty. I'm going to do it again. Yeah, I'm going to do this again. I'm going to do... Oh my gosh. Yeah, baby. Look at that. This is going to be nice. All right. So we've got Ashton Genty with our first pick. Our second pick is going to be Mr. A.J. Brown. It's the theme of the show, right? I got to go with the theme of the show. A.J. Brown, the early second, the first pick of the second round. Let me know. Do you think that's a good pick, bad pick? Is that a reach? I don't know. I think it's not a reach at all. You look at those top receivers that have gone off. Let's pull up the draft board here. Look at the top receivers. You got Jamar Chase, JSN, Puka Nakua, Amon-Ra St. Brown, CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson. All these guys have incredible ceilings, which is why they're being drafted in the first round. Then you look at this second tier of receivers. It really drops off going into the second round. Like literally none of these receivers drop to the second round, hardly ever. And then you're looking at guys like Drake London, and I love Drake London. I'm a huge Drake London guy. Then you got Nico Collins, George Pickens, Chris Olave, Devonta Smith. I like all those guys, but I can't see any of those guys jumping into the next tier except for Drake London. And I don't think that's happening with Tua and friggin' Michael Penix. So, Cameron Drew, he's got 2 first names. Shout out you, Cameron Drew. Cameron with a K here. Look, it's the battle of the Camerons. How did you start? James Cook and Derrick Henry. The classic RB heavy draft. I do really like that stack. If you had those 2 guys last year, you were winning lots of money. And then Troy says, yeah, redraft for some. I do have 2 leagues with keepers. Yeah, keepers is great. I mean, doing these drafts, doing the mock drafts, it's you got to start now because you get to see how the ADP changes throughout the summer. If you just start in August, you don't know the history of some of these guys. You don't know that AJ Brown was going in the, early to mid third round pick, early to mid third round just a month ago. And then now all of a sudden, look, he's going at the 201. And when you just come in August and you see him at the 201, you might think that's really expensive, but you look back over the summer, you could have gotten him cheaper early on. Who knows? But yeah, so AJ Brown to the Patriots, we love that. I'm curious what some of y'all's other player takes are right now. We're getting into training camp season, OTAs. I'm curious if there's any players that you guys are extremely bullish on. I will say I'm really excited about the Jacksonville Jags and their receivers. The hardest part is I don't know who it's going to be, right? I don't know who it's going to be. Who's going to be the dude in Jacksonville? There's a lot of people that say Parker Washington. I was very in on Parker Washington when he first, got into the league and he started balling out. It didn't really surprise me because I love Parker Washington. Always have. But, for a guy like him to repeat what he did last year, it'd be pretty shocking, I would say. Not like it's unheard of. We've had guys who go late in drafts who end up being, good for their career. But I don't know. It'd be shocking. We got Brian Thomas Jr., who, I like Brian Thomas. Year one, he was kind of whatever at the beginning of the season. Back into that year, he totally just blew up. Mainly because Mac Jones was just hyper targeting this guy. I am going to stop talking. You know what? Let's get some neighbors if we can get it. Oh, I got my eyes on something, guys. I got my eyes on something. I think I'm going to get sniped here for sure. But if this were to happen, it would be fantastic. Oh, Rashi, man, bummer. I haven't gotten any Malik Neighbors really. And you know what? I'm thinking that may... I got to fade the noise, right? Let's hit Neighbors. And then I'll tell you what, the other guy that I really like right here is Kyron. I know I'm jumping all over the place with topics here, but can we talk about Kyron Williams for a second? Kyron is, just inevitable. I feel like every year we're expecting him to fall off the cliff. He was one of these late round pick guys like Ashton Genty, sorry. Like Parker Washington, who blew up out of nowhere. And Sean McVay loves him, but everybody thinks that, Corum's going to steal his spot or he's just going to get yanked at any time, but he really hasn't done anything but ball out for his entire career. And now here's my reasoning for why I like drafting him there. He is now on a team that has a stud defense. You got Myles Garrett over there on the edge. You've got Tedero and McMillan. I expect the Rams defense to be a ton better. So he scored really well last year, had over 1,000 yards, throwing a few touchdowns there, had a pretty good year. He was a solid running back, but they're going to be closing out a lot of games on the ground. They're going to be um, winning. They're going to be playing the possession game. They're not going to be doing this air the ball out thing all the time like they did last year because their defense was absolute Swiss cheese, And so I expect them to be a more balanced offense. I don't think Blake Corum's a bad pick either where he goes. I think Blake Corum's a good pick, but I do expect Kyron Williams to kind of be the grinded out guy for the Rams. And so I really like him as a pick there. Backfield of Ashton Genty and Kyron Williams. That's just super solid. We'll go over here, look at Cameron Drew. Sorry, I wanted to call you Cameron Andrew. Cameron's got Luther Burden, baby. Oh, I love it. You don't even have to sell me on Luther. Troy says some are going with Gibbs early in some drafts and also AJ Brown. Are you saying like stacking those two, like Gibbs at the 1 or 2 pick and then coming back around and getting AJ Brown? Because I think that's fantastic. If you were drafting these best ball teams throughout the summer, you could easily have achieved that. Now it looks really good. I think AJ Brown is just going to be a smash. And Jahmyr Gibbs, obviously, he's going to smash. I think that's a great pick. Let's take a look here. Yeah, Troy says, yeah. So let's see. How are we looking here? So now I'm at the point where I'm trying to I've got a pretty balanced team here. I got Genty, Kyron, AJ Brown, Neighbors. Probably going to wait on tight end here, to be honest. I will say that one thing I've been kind of forcing myself to do more often is drafting these quarterbacks much higher. I ascribe to the late round quarterback kind of thing. For years, that was the way to win your fantasy leagues, was going with a late round quarterback. I know a few years ago, it was the elite QBs, getting your Josh Allen, your Lamar Jackson. I think this year's another great year to take elite quarterbacks because overall, elite quarterbacks, the top like 5 guys, your Josh Allen, your Lamar, your Jaden, your who's QB3? Why am I blanking? Joe Burrow, all these guys are studs at the position, right? But they're on average going later than they have historically. So that top 5 of quarterbacks has dropped. And I got sniped on Bashal. That's just insanity. All right. Let's see. Let's get the Drake May stack, and we'll go with Bucky. Do we want Bucky? Let's get Drake May first so we can think about this one. We get Drake May. We could hit Bucky and just have a solid running back room. This is telling me to go with a Dunze. I do not want a Dunze. I'm going to go with Bucky. Part of me thought about going with like a Jaden Daniels, just double tapping the quarterbacks, because I think that is a very solid strategy for this year. But this team, this is a risky team, very risky. We got Ashton Genty. I love Ashton Genty. How can you not love Ashton Genty? But his problem is he plays for the Raiders. And I was just thinking about this the other day. I was listening to the Davis Maddock, Pat Kerrane, those guys, listening to them talk about some of the best ball stuff. And they brought up the Truth Serum takes thing. For those of you who don't know, Truth Serum is like a hot take, but it's not really a hot take. Truth Serum is a take that you don't want to give, So say you've been drafting one way for the entire summer, you got a take that you're fully convinced of. But when you really stop and think about it, if you were to take a sip of some Truth Serum, you'd take a sip and you would say something. It's like your deepest, darkest fear. It's like nightmare fuel. And I think I've been thinking about it, that my Truth Serum is that Genty, as much as I love him, could be stuck once again this year on a team that just can't move the ball on offense. And as much as we're projecting him to get, he's got a better O-line, he's got a better OC, he's got all these things. My True Serum is that Genty could just be average, and we're drafting him once again at the back end of the first round. I don't know, man. Like, I still believe in Genty, but that could happen. But besides that, we've got AJ Brown. We drafted him really high. We got Malik Neighbors, who we're hoping can play. I don't know. It does not look good from the videos of him walking around, but who knows? He's a stud athlete. He can come back pretty fast. And we got Bucky, who's been dropping crazy like. It's looking like that's going to be a three-headed monster there in New England. And, it's one of those things. Do we want to be a part of that? I don't know. So this is a very fragile team, but these are the type of teams you need to be drafting in these smaller field contests so that you can have an edge. All right. Cameron says, my deepest, darkest fear is Stefanski ruining Bijan with play calling, spoken as a Browns fan. Oh, dude, you're a Browns fan. Oh, so sad, man. It's crazy because Stefanski, I thought, was a pretty good coach, pretty good play caller. But I get that, though, because he did like to split his backfields quite often, and he can be pretty conservative. So that could really suck. And I think the big fear with that is, are they going to throw Bijan the ball as much as they did last year? What do you have, like 80 receptions? I think he had like 800 yards receiving. Bijan had a truly historic year last year. And so I don't know, man. That scares me too. I'm with you that Bijan could just kind of fall off. I know historically speaking, it's like I don't think it's ever happened that a running back has repeated, a season like he had last year. So, we'll see. All right, this is where I kind of want to go quarterback again. We could get Jaden Reed. I think I'm gonna take. Do I want Jackson Dart? Yeah, we're gonna take Jackson Dart. Stack him with Malik Neighbors. We're making the bet, and we're making the bet that Jackson Dart is going to, jump into that next tier of guys. And then here, I think, I see why they're suggesting those guys, but I kind of want to get Fannin. Yeah, let's just put Fannin in the queue. Or we go, yeah, let's go Fannin. We're just going to do it. Yeah, get a decent tight end. We've got two solid quarterbacks, both with high rushing upside. Really, these guys could stand alone, but we did get their stack partners. And this draft is shaping up to just be one of those ones where we just hammer wide receiver late. And that's actually a very a preferred spot for me because I like a lot of the later round receivers. Running back drops off so fast. Quarterbacks, you'll see. Like, look at this atrocity. Look at all these quarterbacks going right here. This between the sixth round to like the ninth round, quarterbacks just fly off the board. It is unbelievable. And you'll see the guy who takes Josh Allen. He'll take Lamar Jackson quite often. There's all kinds of different things. It's really hard, and you don't want to get left behind on quarterback. So I don't know. What do you guys think of this team so far? We got Genty, AJ Brown, Malik Neighbors, Kyron Williams, Drake May, Bucky Irving, Jackson Dart, Harold Fannin. Give it a thumbs up, thumbs down. Let me know in the chat what you think. We'll look at Cameron's team too, because he's drafting with us tonight. Shout out Cameron. So we got James Cook, Derrick Henry. I love those running backs. T. Higgins, Luther Burden, Joe Burrow. Got the Burrow and Higgins stack. Alec Pierce, Tony Pollard, and Michael Wilson. Man, does that ever feel good to draft Michael Wilson? I don't know. Troy says it's a good start to the draft. Appreciate that, Troy. Yeah, I like this team. It's pretty balanced, but risky. Like the structure of it's balanced. We got good players all across the board, but the players we've selected are super risky. But if they hit, if this team hits, this team has a massive, massive ceiling. So, yeah, I really like this team. We probably won't be drafting another quarterback anytime soon, and most likely won't be taking another, what do you call it? Tight end for a while, unless we want Kittle. I do see Kittle jumping in ADP right now, so we'll see. Let's see. I'm thinking, gosh, it is nice that these quarterbacks are here, but watch, these quarterbacks will all disappear by the time it gets to be my pick. Cameron says Odell Beck is wide receiver 1 in New York. Yeah, I looked into that today because I'm in a lot of dynasty leagues. And I was just kind of surfing in one of the leagues because we've got some open roster spots. Was going to see if there was anybody worth taking on the waiver wire. And Odell was there. He's one of the top trending players. He's 33 years old. 33 years old. And I don't know if this dude's played meaningful football for the past 5 years. I know he's been on teams, but like, what has he done in the last 5 years that would warrant you wanting to get him? I would love Josh Downs to drop here. If not, do like Jonathan Brooks or Casey Concepcion. Trying to see. I do like Rashad White too. This is kind of a weird part of the draft. Yeah. So look, what did I tell y'all? All those quarterbacks were going to be gone, and sure enough, so we're going to take Josh Downs here, and then do we want? I really don't want Dobbs. I'll say that straight up right now. I do kind of want to take Pearsall. Let's take Pearsall. All right, Josh Downs, Ricky Pearsall. Those are our quarterback or receivers we just got there at the turn. Maybe messed up there because Kittle was down a little further. Apparently, all the reports are that Kittle is like super healthy right now. That he's right on track. He's going to play week 1, even though he had the Achilles injury. I'm always a little wary of guys that are coming off the Achilles injury, but I think also sometimes you just gotta draft guys you don't necessarily like because you never know if you're going to be right or wrong. And in best ball, that's kind of the name of the game. Definitely need to keep slamming receivers here. So we'll see what comes back around to us. I'm gonna take a second and get me a sip of something to drink. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. I'm home alone this weekend. Home alone. For those of y'all who don't know, I'm a husband and a father. I've got 3 kids, all 5 and under. Love all my kids. My wife got to go on a little personal vacation. She's going by herself. She went down to the Outer Banks. Shout out my wife. Love you, babe. So she's down there in the Outer Banks, enjoying the sun, enjoying the sand, all that good stuff. And then my kids went out to see my parents. They stayed with my grandparents. And so it's so weird being in the house alone with nobody else. I mean, I haven't done this since prior to me being married, which is coming up on 7 years ago. And even then I lived with roommates. So very odd. I'm going to have to watch. I'm probably going to watch a movie tonight. So if anybody's got any movie recommendations, let me know what I should be watching. Would love the recommendations. It's hard. I'll log on to Netflix and it's just all the same stuff, man. I want something new. I want something fresh. Let me know. Cameron says, I got friends who drove to Pittsburgh today for the Morgan Wallen concert. And he canceled last. Dude, I saw this. Why did he cancel? I heard he said he canceled because of the weather, but apparently the weather stopped being bad at like 3:30 this afternoon, and he canceled the entire show. I don't know. Is there a deeper conspiracy here? I don't know. All right, we're getting close here. Take a look at what's available on the board. Got our boy Travis Hunter. Boys, I will tell you this right now. I am so overweight on Travis Hunter. It's not even funny. I will say Keaton Mitchell is a guy that I love. I might be taking some Keaton here. Give me a 4th running back. Keep slamming the receivers. So we'll see. Aaron Jones actually isn't a bad pick either. Cameron, I love that pick. Jaden Higgins. I love that pick there. I think people are sleeping on Jaden Higgins. Same as when he got drafted. Okay, so do we want to go with Man, this is tough. I'm going to go with Keaton first. But do we want to go with? We can go with Travis Hunter, or we can hit Stephon Diggs. I really don't have a ton of Diggs, and I just think that he's a guy, especially with this. Let's go with both Travis Hunter and Diggs match the build. But if Diggs gets signed somewhere, he immediately will jump. You know what? Let's take Diggs. We're going to take Diggs. He's going to immediately jump in ADP value, probably by about 20 picks when he signs. And there's absolutely no way that he's going to retire. Because I know that some people think that he may retire. There's no way he's going to retire, right? He's about the money. He wants to make him some more money. He's not done making money, so he's going to stick around. And I wonder. Let me take a second. I'm gonna look around and see if I can find any teams that have been interested in him. Stephon Diggs team rumors. Let's see if we can find anything here. 8 hours ago, Commanders. Oh, dude, come on. If the Commanders sign him, it's just fantastic. Commanders would be a great fit. The Rams are another option. The Chiefs. Come on, dude. All right, Falcons is terrible. Ravens is good. Out of those 5 different spots that he could land to, I love all of those, except for the Falcons. So that's what I'm saying. If he gets signed, he's immediately going to jump in ADP. And, he's 32 years old, but he just came off a 1,000-yard season. And we're drafting him. Which round are we in right now? I just got him in the 12th round. So, yeah, I'm bullish, very bullish on him. Love is dropping to the 4th round in these drafts. Wait, Jeremiah Love or Jordan Love? No, there's no way. I haven't seen Jeremiah Love. People are starting to wake up on Jeremiah Love, which is good. It's crazy because Jeremiah Love is a pretty comparable prospect to Genty. I still think Genty was a better prospect, but we were drafting Genty at the back end of the 1st last year in his rookie season. And he was on a terrible team, right? We know the Cardinals are terrible, right? But they had a pretty functional offense last year for fantasy points. And now you add in the new head coach. I always get his name mixed up. Is it LaFleur? Mike LaFleur? He's an offensive-minded head coach. Just saw a news thing or a video today of the OC talking about how they're going to find ways to win and make it fun. They're going to feed him the rock. Jeremiah Love is way underpriced right now. I think by the end of the summer, he's going to go higher. He's going to be closer to the middle of the 2nd round, probably even early 2nd round. And if he's not, I'm just going to scoop him up every single time. If I'm not drafting A.J. Brown, of course. Has Debo signed anywhere? Is he not going back to Washington if Ayuk signs? Yeah, that's pretty interesting to think about too. I need to make a pick. I could take Debo here, but we're going to make a bet on Dijon Stribling. We could take Chig here too. I don't take a lot of Chig. Or we take Denzel Boston. You know what? For all the marbles, we're not drafting scared. We're drafting like we're right. This is how you win in best ball. You draft like you're right, like you're the smartest guy in the room, even though this could end up terrible. But now we've got Diggs and Debo, 2 veteran wide receivers who are unsigned as of right now, but it's only June. These guys could hop into teams. Even if they don't get signed to teams immediately, right? Middle of the season when injuries have happened and these competing teams are going to be, pushing for playoff spots, pushing to clinch divisions, whatever. These are the guys they're going to look at first. And these are the guys that are going to be playing at the back end of the season. So if you can survive until then, and these guys are on your roster, it's pretty fun. Yeah, Troy said it was Jeremiah Love. Yeah, so Jeremiah, I think, is super undervalued. Debo. So let's look up Debo Samuel rumors, and let's see what the World Wide Web has to say about Debo. Once again, guys, if you're tuning in for the first time, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. You know, we're a small channel. We're growing every single day, but we can't do it without you guys. So like the video and subscribe, share it with your friends, or don't if you don't want them to know ball, because we are obviously ball knowers here. You can also follow us over there on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. We're active on all three of those accounts. And yeah, you know, just stay along. We do these live drafts every Friday, Saturday. We may even do, you know, another day in the week as we get closer to the season, because this is just fun content. It's fun to do, fun to draft teams. I can't get enough of it. And yeah, if you didn't already see before, our show is actually airing live on television tonight, 7 p.m. on the Abundant TV app, which you can find on your Amazon Fire Stick, on Roku, or on Apple TV. So if you have any of those services, you can find it. If you don't, you can just go on your phone, download the Abundant TV app, and just look at the live stream, and we're right there. We're breaking down all 32 NFL teams, tiering them. It's like tiered power rankings. It was a really fun show. But yeah, crazy that we're on TV. Never would have thought we'd be on TV. So let's see. Here we are. We're getting to a fun spot in the draft. Gosh, I love these receivers here. I love Ted Hurst, Calvin Ridley, Trey Harris. I love. We probably need to be responsible though, because this is round 16. So we got 3 more picks. I need to probably get 2 more tight ends and a running back, or we just go with the 3-4 running back build and get 1 more receiver. And there goes Emmett Johnson. So we could get Cade Otton, Eli Stowers. Who does Stowers match up with? Let's take Cade Otton. I don't really like it, but you know, when Mike Evans was hurt last year, he did play some meaningful ball. Trey Harris is our number 1 selection here. You don't have to tell me twice. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. What is happening? We got Ted Hurst in the queue. I don't know what happened. Well, we took Ted Hurst, and you know what? I'm not mad about that. But the computer just like glitched out. I couldn't scroll down to get our boy. So yeah, let's see. We got 2 more picks left. Okay, we're good. We're chilling, boys. We're chilling. So we'll get another tight end here at the back end of this round. You know what? I'm kind of in on Daddy Darnell. Daddy Darnell seems like a fun pick. And then running backs wise, because we probably need to get 1 more running back. Probably. Let's see. Kamara would be ideal, but I don't think he's going to drop. And then Halani I do like Halani, or Kamani Vidal, like him. There's a couple late round guys here that are pretty interesting. Yeah, Cameron says got to get that that Hurst exposure up. Sorry, I knew what you meant when you said guest. Yeah, I got to get my Ted Hurst up, man. I haven't been really drafting much of him early on, and I've been getting more and more interested. I think with Mike Evans out, this guy was just a freak at Georgia State, a freak. But it was Georgia State, so like you got to remember these small school guys have a very low hit rate. Even the guys drafted in the first round, like Corey Davis. Anybody remember Corey Davis? A lot of high hopes for Corey Davis, and he just never panned out. But I think this is a pass happy offense over in whatchamacallit, in Tampa Bay. And I think they probably will play, from behind more this year. So I do like that pick. But you're right. I got to get my exposure up. And then Troy said, I've picked up Jackson Dart in the 10th round of drafts. And you probably have. I think I probably took him above ADP. But I wanted to pull him up to get that stack. But yeah, I mean, you could probably wait. Quarterback's just so weird, right? Especially a guy like Jackson Dart, because he's got the rushing upside. And so other players are incentivized to take him, even if they don't have a stack partner with him, because of the rushing upside. So I think that, I think that he was, I had to pull him up there. I wouldn't have gotten him otherwise. Cameron said, I went to the University of Toledo. I thought Corey Davis was the best receiver I'd ever seen. Oh my gosh. Him and Kareem Hunt had a nasty matchup against each other. Yeah, dude. Wow. That's a crazy pool right there. That just shows ball. Yeah, I loved Corey Davis coming out. And poor guy, I think he probably was pretty good. Here's the problem. He got drafted to the Titans. I think that was what did it for him. I think he got drafted to the Titans, and it really screwed him up. So the Titans were just an abysmal organization at that point. Anybody been playing these games, the 20-0 or 17-0, where you draft a team or you pick a team from the selections given to you by AI, and you try to build a team that can go 20-0 or 17-0? I've been learning a lot of ball just by doing it. Looking back, the craziest thing I saw, Priest Holmes. If anybody remembers Priest Holmes, you know ball. Okay, where are we at? What do we need? Did we need a running back? No, we need a tight end. I think we need a tight end. Yeah, we're going to take Daddy Darnell. And we're going to roll with, should we take Halani or Vidal? I think let's take Halani. I'm really interested on Halani. I'm not going to lie to you. I think he's going to be pretty good. And I think that Jadarian Price is not good. So we'll just leave it there. All right, that's the team, fellas. We'll look at that in just 1 second. Yeah, we got to talk about Priest Holmes, dude. Priest Holmes, man, this guy had 31 points per game. I think it was an 0-2 or 0-3 that I remember. And then the Chiefs replaced him with Larry Johnson, and Larry Johnson was an absolute stud. Just a crazy run of running backs there. Priest Holmes. I think he also played for the Ravens prior to playing for the Chiefs, which is fascinating. What's up, TDB? How you living? How you feeling, man? Good to have you here. Come and draft with us, dude. Come and draft. And then Cameron says, yeah, Priest Holmes was on Madden was an absolute cheat code. Absolutely, he was. All right. We just reached the end of this draft. So we're going to take a look at my team, and we'll also do a review of Cameron's team. The other Cameron, not me. I'm talking to Cameron in the chat. The Big Sweat, 1372, the year in which he was born. All right. So Drake May and Jackson Dart as the quarterbacks on this team. Love that start. Running backs, Ashton Genty, Kyron Williams, Bucky Irving, Keaton Mitchell, George Halani. I didn't get to talk much about Keaton Mitchell. We'll save that for after the team review because I got some things to say about Keaton. I'm very in on Keaton Mitchell. Receivers, we got A.J. Brown, Malik Neighbors, Josh Downs, Ricky Pearsall, Stephon Diggs, Dejon Stribling, Debo Samuel, and Ted Hurst. Yeah, I think the receiver room could have been a lot better. And I might have done better maybe passing up on Fannin and taking a receiver in that range. Just because the drop from like the Neighbors and down to Josh Downs is pretty massive, even though I'm kind of bullish on Josh Downs. And we could have just made like a 4 tight end team or something, taking one less receiver. But tight ends were Harold Fannin, Kate Otten, Darnell Washington. Apparently Mike McCarthy loves him some Darnell. I don't know how he couldn't, right? Darnell is sick. So that's the squad, fellas. That's the squad. I think it's a good team. Let's take a look at Cameron's team here. He was drafting out of the 9 hole. So James Cook, Derrick Henry, T. Higgins, Luther Burden, Joe Burrow, Alec Pierce, Tony Pollard, Michael Wilson, Kyle Pitts, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. Love that pick. Jaden Higgins, Jake Ferguson, Daniel Jones, Tyler Algier, Ryan Flournoy. All right. Hold on. This is a spike week, bro. You're a spike week, bro. You're listening to Eric Bain for. He is loving him some Ryan Flournoy, and Ryan Flournoy is just jumping in price. It is crazy, and for pretty good reason. I think he's pretty good, but yeah, I like that pick. Jacoby Brissett, Jerry Jeudy, Tonjes. So you got 3 tight ends, 3 quarterbacks. What'd you do? 1, 2, 3, 7 receivers and 6 running backs. I think that's right. Yeah. I think that's a pretty solid team. I don't mind that team at all. Look at team 1. Look at this. All right, hold on. Dude, I don't know. Whew. 3 quarterbacks and 4 tight ends to end the draft. I've seen a lot of guys doing this. That's kind of crazy. All right, we're going to jump into another draft. We're going to go over to DraftKings and hit one. And we're going to play it that way. Let me pull this up right quick. And then we'll talk. I'll see what you guys are saying in chat. No, this isn't what I wanted. Not my rankings. We're going to go NFL entries. We'll zoom it like that. And we're going to do this little $3 thing. I got $24 left in the account. So if anybody wants to keep seeing me draft, just send me money. I'll put my Venmo in the chat. All right, so we're going to hop into this one. We'll wait for that to come up. And Troy says, where are you seeing Jackson Smith and Jigba going mostly? Yeah, I mean, he's the top 5. It's a pretty set group right there. You don't really see it change much. It's like the 2 running backs, Bijan and Gibbs, to start out. And then that's the group of receivers, Jamar Chase, Puka Nacua, and JSN. And JSN's typically going 5th behind them, which I think is probably right. Out of any of those top 5 guys, who do I expect to regress the most? It's got to be JSN, right? I love JSN. I'm a huge JSN fan. You guys have seen me on this show. I've got 1 jersey. I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, but I've got 1 NFL jersey, and it's JSN. So I love JSN. But last year was just a complete – I won't say it's an outlier because I think he's very talented, but his usage was insane. And I think it's a fool's errand to think that he's going to repeat with that same style of usage. So yeah, I just think that I think JSN is very good. Puka just is going to be the number 1 in LA. I mean, they got Devontae Adams, and he still wasn't getting alphaed by Devontae Adams, one of the greatest receivers of the last decade. And Jamar Chase. I do think people are pretty low on Jamar Chase, especially like if we're looking at a DraftKings draft right here. This is full PPR versus Underdog where it's half point PPR. I don't think it's crazy to take Jamar Chase over Bijan or Gibbs in this setting, just because having that stud receiver is such a big advantage for you. But also, I just think people are kind of gotten used to Jamar Chase being at the top, and they want something different. So Jamar Chase just become a familiar name up there. I think he's an absolute stud. So yeah, JSN's going at 5. Crispy says JSN, I trust to not get suspended for 3 games more than Puka. Yeah, that's the concern about Puka, right? Apparently he's in rehab. I haven't heard anything about the rehab. Is he doing better? Let's see. Let's take a look what Google says about Puka Nacua rehab situation. He voluntarily entered a facility, and we don't. Oh no, he's already out. So he was in attendance for the first day of the team's workouts. So like he hadn't done anything crazy legal, right? I mean, he's done some things I don't agree with, like been very openly anti-Semitic, and a couple other things he did. I can't remember what he was doing. Am I about to get a gift with JSN at 7? Oh, give me a gift. Give me a present. Give it to me. Let me get it. But yeah, Puka is scary, but for the upside that you're getting on him, I mean, the guy's just insane. Oh yeah, dude, he's biting women, dude. What are we talking about? I forgot about that. I totally forgot about that. Wow, what a bonkers guy. All right. All right. Let's see. So this is telling me go JT. I just hate going JT. I kind of want to go. I prefer Justin Jefferson here. I think I am gonna. You know what? Let's take Amon-Ra. I've got a lot of JJ teams, so we're gonna take Amon-Ra there. I don't take a lot of Amon-Ra, so I got to kind of get my exposures right. I got to get back on the wagon with them. But in these DraftKings drafts, I tend to go pretty heavy receiver. And I think the Lions have the best schedule, one of the best schedules this year. So Amon-Ra's great. I'm not going to prioritize the stack as much. I think that I can find some other good stacks that are going to help me. I just think the other guys get too expensive. I mean, I see people take Jameson Williams so early. It's kind of crazy. Laporta goes a little too early for me. Although I do like Laporta a lot. And then who is their third receiver? Tesla, which we don't even know if he's the third receiver, right? Dude just caught like touchdowns last year. I think he had like 8 receptions on the year and 6 of them were touchdowns. So Isaac Tesla doing it for the brand. The guy's a dog. But you won't catch me drafting a whole lot of Tesla. What a gift there at the 12th spot. I've been getting just absolutely shafted by Underdog. They keep putting me in the 12 hole, and every time it's always running backs. I never get the CeeDee Lamb to drop or Justin Jefferson or Amon-Ra, and it's just bananas to me because I see it happen for other people, and it just never happens for me. So here we are. Let's see. Kenneth Walker is not bad. I do like Brock Bowers though. Oh, AJ Brown, dude. Theme of the show. If AJ's there, we're taking AJ. Right? The Brown brothers. Amon-Ra St. Brown and AJ Brown. Let's get it. Yeah, I'm kind of big on that. Let's do it. Fan feed in the house. What's up, Trey? We also have a donate button on the homepage if you'd rather do that. Oh, totally. So everybody go to fanfeednetwork.com if you want to help fund my best ball addiction, or just get good content consistently weekly. Donate to that button over there on fanfeednetwork.com. Or if you'd rather, you don't really just have to donate money for nothing. You could just go to the FanFeed store and look at all the merch we've got. We've got merch for every single NFL team, creative, original logos for every team recreated. I actually do have my my hat on today. I shared it last week. Look at that. That's Steelers. And that is just absolutely sick. Dad hat. You love to see it. But we've got one for every single NFL team. So if you don't want to just donate money, you can go buy yourself something sick. There's shirts, hoodies, hats, all kinds of crazy things. So go check it out. And look at this. All right. Crispy said, we got Troy first. Troy said, if you have deep bench room, then Tesla's an okay pick. Yeah, he is. The problem is he's got to become a target earner, at least a little bit more than what he is. Because even though he's catching touchdowns last year, you really weren't getting much from him unless he was scoring 3 touchdowns in a game. And so we want more receptions. We want more him to earn targets. And he just kind of became the red zone guy. So it just wasn't that advantageous to get him. It gets 1 catch for 5 yards for a touchdown. So was that 7 points? So I do like Tesla. I'll say that as a player, he's fascinating to me. but he's not someone I'm like jamming onto my teams. And Crispy says, Jet CD at the turn is wild, bro. Yeah, CD and Drake is crazy. You could have double stacked them Jones. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Christopher, take Diami Brown too, you coward. Where is Diami Brown playing? Look, I'm not a coward. I do like me some Diami Brown. UNC, baby. I wonder where he's playing. Now I'm going to Google it. I'm just super interested. Diami Brown. What's the word? Is he Jags? No, Commanders? Is he back? Okay, he's with the Commanders. All right. So, I mean, yeah. Look at this guy. Look at this, guys. Kyron Williams at the 302. That's pretty early for Kyron. I do love that. Whoa, hold on. I looked at the Kyron thing. This guy took Judkins at the 102. What are we doing? Bro saw the videos of his leg being better, and golly, just kind of dude. This draft is bananas. Holy smokes. Brock Bowers in the 3rd round. Trey McBride still on the board. I could get Trey McBride right here. Brother, what is happening? I am just flabbergasted right now. We're taking Trey McBride if he drops 100%. And he just didn't. Saying take Josh Allen. I don't really want to take Josh Allen. You know what, though? Oh, you know who I want to get? Travis Etienne. I have not drafted enough Travis Etienne this year. We can talk about that in a second. Let's hit these comments. Is DraftKings half PPR like Underdog? No, actually, DraftKings is full point PPR, which is a very fun, and the rooms are a lot softer. So yeah, you said you need to start drafting on DraftKings. Oh my gosh, yeah, dude, that's what I'm saying. DraftKings drafts are pretty insane. The rooms are so much softer. Like Underdog, you'll see all the badge bros scrolling across the top, and it's just like, what is happening? Like, how did I get in a room with all these guys? There's like one of the badges is like for over like I can't remember, over 100,000 drafts, and I think only 30 people on the site or only 30 users have achieved that badge, which is crazy that there's even 30 that have. But I I draft with them like routinely, which I guess makes sense because they're always drafting, but it's pretty annoying. It's very annoying that I'm drafting against all these guys who are very good, but this is just a insane draft room. So we've had some major fallers, some major guys being brought up. Quinshon Judkins brought up all the way into the 2nd round is bananas. And Brock Bowers in the 3rd round. Both of these prices are insanity. Like, oh man, I bet both of these guys were thinking about taking the tight end too prior to their 2nd round pick, and then they got a gift in the 3rd round. So this is what you'll see too, is that a lot of guys come into the draft with their headset of what they're going to do, right? So they want to, like this guy at pick 2, he wants to draft 0 running back or 0 receiver. He wants a hyper fragile build. He wanted his Quinshon Judkins, so he's going to draft running backs. It doesn't matter who's falling. It doesn't matter to him who's falling. He does not care one bit. All he wants is his heavy running back team. Look over here at this team out of the 5 hole. He wanted to draft 0 running back. He wasn't going to be stopped. He was going to get his 0 running back team. And so he passed up on Trey McBride. Just crazy. Let's take a look at who we got here. Neighbors just went, dude. That's what I'm saying. This is and I'm just keep getting sniped of these guys who are falling. This is so bad. I like Garrett Wilson here. I do have a good amount of Garrett Wilson, I think. Trying to see if there's anyone else that I could be interested in. Let's go with Garrett. I like that. All right. Amon-Ra St. Brown, A.J. Brown, Garrett Wilson, Travis Etienne Jr. We're going to talk about Travis Etienne. Let's see. Quality. Hold on. Fantasy football enjoyer quality so low that I can't enjoy the picks. I am sorry to hear that. I'll try to zoom this in. I do have it zoomed out pretty far, so maybe me zooming it in will help. Let me know if that helps you. Thanks for coming back, my guy. You were here last stream. That was a fun time. But let's go back to this comment. I love how much more popular DK streams have become. Seems like you can always find one. Yeah, I mean, DK's doing it right. DK is very much doing it right because they are now doing the $3 million to first place. I think second place gets 2 million and third place gets 1 million. So their flagship contest, there's 3 people that will become millionaires from that. Same price, $25 buy-in. The rooms are a lot softer. So I think the best part about DraftKings is it's just introduced a competitor to Underdog. Because Underdog's been great. I'm not trying to down Underdog. But it's pushing them to be better. It's pushing them to make better contests, make more contests for everybody, right? They got the big spender contest. They got the really cheap contest. And so it's good to have these two businesses competing. I haven't gone to Drafters yet. So Drafters is another website that I've seen that's just come up. And apparently that one's really good too. They've got a milli maker. That one is actually a $15 buy-in. So it's like $10 cheaper than Underdog and DraftKings milli. So maybe we'll hit one of those here soon. Not all the way sure yet. I need to do some inspecting, but especially too, if my wife sees me getting onto another best ball drafting site, she might strangle me. That's probably part of the reason why she left me this weekend to go to the beach by herself. But anyway, fantasy football. Yeah, he said, it's better. Had to do a higher quality option too. Yeah, sorry guys. I do apologize if there is some bad quality. I'm working on getting my internet better. I'm just out in a garage right now that I'm turning into a man cave. So right now the internet is just kind of, it leaves some to be desired. So we'll say that. I want to look at this guy's team. That's just so bananas to me. Why did he take Quinshon Judkins at the 211? The rest of his team's not bad, but like, what are we doing? Brent says, what overlay are you using? I actually made this on Canva. I literally, I had to change it because I was supposed to have my co-host on. And so we have one that's for 2 people. And because he wasn't coming, I hadn't made one for 1 person yet. So I tried to whip it together. I think I did it in about 30 minutes. You can do a lot with ChatGPT nowadays. I will say that. All right, so we've got our receivers. You know what? Man, this is a painful one because I really want to jam Jameson Williams. And you know what? We're going to do it. No, we got to take a running back, right? We're going to jam Jameson. We're going to jam Jameson, and we're going to pray and hope that Bashal will come back to us. Our sweet daddy, Bashal Tootin. So, but yeah, Brent, that's what I'm using. Contact me if you want one. I could probably put one together for you if you were looking for it. It's really not too hard. Like I said, ChatGPT will show you everything. It's manageable. Just figured I'd let you know in case you could do anything about it. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I want to see more of the players, so that's why I zoom out the tab when I'm drafting on my own, and then I forget to change it over for the stream. So that I appreciate you bringing it up. Honestly, that helps us a lot. So shout out to all you guys here hanging out. I really appreciate y'all hanging out with me on a Saturday night. You could be doing anything, but you chose to be here watching me draft a best ball team and roasting my team. Let's go ahead. If you're here, roast my team. Tell me what I'm doing wrong or what I'm doing right. 4 receivers, 1 running back in the year of 2026. And then if you are here, you haven't been here before, make sure you hit that subscribe button. like the video. We're a small channel. We're growing daily. But we are doing these best ball drafts all throughout the summer. And we're not part of Big Best Ball. That's the best part about us. We're not part of Big Best Ball. All the streamers you see all the time, they're great. They're good. I'm not downing them, but they can kind of get stuck in an echo chamber. Here we kind of like to break out of that echo chamber as much as we can. And you guys are here to keep us accountable, right? If I ever start spouting off some nonsense, I want y'all to say something. Tell me. Say, Cameron, what are you talking about, dude? Jack says, what's up? Interested to see how you finish this draft. Yes. So this is going to be interesting. I mean, I don't know if you've drafted much heavy wide receiver. I will say this, in Underdog history, there's only been one team that had 2 running backs drafted in the top 5 rounds that's won the Millie. The rest of them either had 1 running back or 0 running back. So that's interesting. We talked about this on a stream a couple weeks ago, that 0 running back might be the play this year. And look at that. Sweet Daddy Bashal's coming back to us. We could take Carnell Tate too. I really like him. But yeah, he's it's telling us Tyler Warren. Do we want to go Tyler Warren? I think we got to get Bashal. I think the receivers drop off, or running backs drop off pretty bad. And I'm very bullish on Bashal Tootin. I will not give in to the boomers who say that Chris Rodriguez is going to get the lion's share of the workload in Jacksonville. That is unbelievable to me. The fact that somebody could say that with a straight face, you should just turn him off immediately. And apparently he doesn't have a foot right now, or he's got some foot issue. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, Bashal Tootin for the win, baby. This is the part where we do want to get our quarterbacks, right? So we're going to be drafting our quarterbacks. Like I was saying on DraftKings, it's way more advantageous to draft more receivers since it is a full PPR site. And the other thing that's really nice is that this is a 20-round draft. So you get 20 players rather than your 18 that you get on Underdog. So you can draft a whole lot of running backs at the back end of the draft and really fill out that, 0 running back team with all these backup guys. I do need to get quarterbacks, and at least 2 quarterbacks in the next few rounds. That way I don't get squeezed out on that. I don't want to draft 3 quarterbacks. I don't want to be messing with that later tier of quarterbacks. I want to have 2 solid quarterbacks on this team. And then look at this guy, Brock Bowers and Tyler Warren. He got the gift with Brock Bowers, and he just ruined this whole draft by going double tight end. I mean, maybe not, but I don't know. That's crazy. So we got a bunch of comments here. Feels like there's an RB cliff at running back after Tootin. Yeah, it drops so fast. Jack says it's a copycat league. Seahawks ran a tandem RB room, so I think other teams will be doing similar. So I think no running back is smart. That's a great point, Jack. Great point is, the Seahawks ran that double running back system last year, and it was so frustrating if you owned Kenneth Walker. And with all these heavy personnel sets, I think tight end's going to be spread out. I think getting these top guys is really important if you can. And if not, you're just fading till the end of the draft and drafting like 3 or 4 tight ends. Because I think these middle round tight ends are very threatened to be part-time guys since they're going to be running a bunch of tight ends on the field. So getting all these receivers is very, very nice. C-Rod isn't even 100% right now. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. His foot is cooked. LaQuint Allen going to steal all the passing down work. Now that's interesting because I like LaQuint, and I do think that he's a better pass protector, and he's a better receiving back. And yeah, there it is. Tootin can't pass protect. Yeah, I agree with that, but I would also say that Bashal has very big play upside, and he's a what quarterbacks are we looking at? Sorry, give me 1 second. We got AJ. Did Drake May go? Yeah, I think he already went, right? So we're going to be looking at, we'll probably get Hurts here. I think Hurts is a good pick. Yeah, look at this quarterback run, fellas. This is what I was saying. This is exactly what I was saying. The quarterbacks on DraftKings fly off the board right at like round 6 or 7. And am I on the board? I hope I'm not. No, the other guy is. Is he going to auto draft Jalen Hurts? Okay. I was going to scream. I'm not going to lie to you. Should we go Herbert? What do y'all think? I kind of like Herbert. Let's go Herbert. Let's go Herbie. Let's go Herbie. But yeah, I still think Tootin, because of his big play upside, he has great speed. I think he showed that he can handle a larger workload last year. I think they are going to give him a good workload, but I think you can expect a heavy dose of LaQuint Allen. And LaQuint Allen routinely goes undrafted in these best ball drafts. So you definitely should be taking up some LaQuint Allen. I think that's really interesting. Yeah, fantasy football expert says the same thing. Or enjoyer, my bad. He's probably an expert too. It's better than C-Rod's. It's within the realm of possibility. Yeah, right. So look, C-Rod had this opportunity last year with Washington. You know, it was him, JCM. I always forget the other guy's name. He was like the pass catching back, something McMillan or something. I can't remember his name, but he's lightning fast, you know, but like this could have been Chris Rodriguez's backfield, and he was just completely uninspiring. So yes, he goes to maybe a better offense because the Commanders were pretty beat up last year. But like, what do you win when you win, right? What if he is the starter? Let's say he is the starter. What do you win when LaQuint Allen or when C-Rod is starting? You know, you're gonna get 16 carries for 60 yards and hoping for a touchdown to get you 12 fantasy points. I do not care about 12 fantasy points. I'd much rather get LaQuint. Brent says, I've seen the leg up guys do double elite tight end. Not really a fan of it. You know, I probably spoke a little too soon. Look at this. Is Jalen Hurts going to drop to us? Oh, girl. That would be awesome. So the double elite tight end is fun, but here's the thing. I'm still not sold that Warren is an elite tight end yet. I know there are a bunch of guys. Yeah, there he goes. I figured that was going to happen. So let's look at our players here. Give me 1 second. RJ Harvey is the number one selection here. I think we probably let's go get RJ. I kind of like that. I still believe in RJ. I still believe. But yeah, the whole concept of double tight end is you force the draft room to draft tight ends earlier. You take the share of higher end tight ends so that the rest of the room doesn't have that advantage. I think it's way more successful in redraft leagues, right? Because even if you do that here, you get the double elite tight end. Even if you win your pod, you move on to the next round and you're playing against a bunch of other leagues where you didn't have that same advantage over all those guys. So isn't Tyler Warren just going to outscore half the wide receivers most weeks? I don't know, man. I don't know. I think we're really wishing that Daniel Jones is going to come back and be as good as he was last year. Wish casting that. You know, he's what do we like Achilles injury to a guy who's been horrible his whole career. And Shane Steichen, yeah, Shane Steichen, he's good. He's good. I get it, but like, I don't know, man. I'm not sold. I still think he's good. He's a PPR cheat code, right? Like he catches so many passes. They got rid of Pittman, so his targets are going to be, you know, open for the rest of the team to get. I like Josh Downs to get some more of that, but Warren, I think, is the better player in that offense. So I think it is a good bet. I just think that that's a tough strategy to pull off. Christopher knows ball. He does. Shout out, Christopher. I like Emmanuel Wilson late in drafts in the eliminator leagues. I think he eats a lot of carries with Price in the beginning of the year. I 100% agree. I love Emmanuel Wilson. I actually like George Halani a lot better. I think Halani's kind of like, yeah, like Emmanuel Wilson's already the sneaky play, right? Emmanuel Wilson's like the guy nobody's thinking of. But, you know, George Halani is the guy you should be thinking of. This was the guy that was playing with Ashton Genty in Boise State, and he was a stud. And he looked really good in the preseason last year. For what it's worth, fellas. You got to be grinding to know these things. All right, we're coming up to a spot here. We could take Kyler. Maybe we could get like a Hawkinson at the back end of the draft. I think Herbert. We could go Kyler. Did I say that already? Bo Nix is another option. It's telling me go Jacoby. I don't really know if I want Jacoby again. Let's do Bo Nix. We're gonna go with Bo Nix. It is crazy. So Trey, the other co-host on this show, he's a big Broncos fan. And so he loves Bo Nix, irrationally loves Bo Nix. So I have got to be the low guy, right? To balance out the show. I can't just go with him and say Bo Nix is the greatest. But objectively speaking, Bo Nix had a situation upgrade to get Jalen Waddle. He's got Sean Payton. He had a great year last year. He has rushing upside as well. And so you're telling me this guy has got a situation upgrade. He's got the rushing upside, and we're still drafting him this late. I don't know. I think that's probably wrong. I think he's a good pick. Not the 6 to 7 QB run. Yeah. McNichols. I always forget his name. Jeremy McNichols. Thank you guys. Because I always forget his name. It's crazy. I've seen where some leagues are offering extra PPR points for tight ends to make them more appealing. Yeah. The tight end premium leagues. So the thing with tight end premium leagues, it's kind of a trap because you think, oh, well, all tight ends are better. And it really doesn't make all tight ends better. It just makes the elite tight ends better. The Brock Bowers, the Trey McBrides, these guys who are getting like 7 to 9 receptions a game. For the rest of the guys, it really doesn't boost them up much, and it really doesn't boost them over other positions. Brent, dude, look at this. Look at this. Look at this Jared Goff snipe. Just unbelievable. The guy with 3 quarterbacks. He's got 3 quarterbacks. He took Williams, Stafford, and Goff. That's unbelievable. This is what I'm saying. This is the guy. These are the guys that come into a draft with like their game plan already set up. Well, he's also on auto draft, which I think is crazy. But yeah, I don't know, man. That's just painful. All right. So we're about to be up. Josh Downs. Oh, we are up. Josh Downs is our best option here. And I think I want to go Josh Downs. I've got a good amount of worthy. Yeah, let's go Josh Downs. We're going to go Josh. So that's 2 Josh Downs tonight, fellas. Now you can see what I'm about. We'll pull up the draft board again, and then we'll answer some questions. Crazy value on Kyler, by the way, because I was debating him back at 9.7, and he dropped all the way. Tyler Shuck. Oh man, I love Tyler. All right. Give this man some likes, says TDB. Shout it out. Yeah, if you're watching this video, make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Like I said, new channel, well, not new. We've been around for a little bit, but we're growing. We're a newly growing channel, especially in the fantasy space. So make sure you subscribe to stay in touch. We've got shows coming out throughout the week, all kinds of content. Check out the website, fanfeednetwork.com. If you want to donate to the show, you can donate there. There is a donation button. If you don't want to just donate to something random that you don't know much about, go buy some merch. We've got merch for all 32 teams, custom logos and everything. My boy Trey put it all together, and it is absolutely stunning. It is just some really, really good stuff. So make sure you check out the website, and just thank you for being here. Saturday night, like I said earlier, and we're drafting best ball teams. We're really in the thick of it, fellas. Diabolical, just trying to sabotage your draft. This is unbelievable, dude. I don't like to get heated. This is why I have to be out here in the shed. I got the 3 kids typically inside the house with my wife. If I was live streaming and I screamed like that, I would be instantly kicked out. But here we are. Yeah, we're going to have to, I actually really like this team because we're pretty balanced. We are going to be drafting a bunch of tight ends here shortly. So that's going to be interesting. Gadsden is actually the best value on the board because he's going to be stacked with Justin Herbert, and I think I'm going to do that at this next pick. Don't believe the lies, man. Don't believe the lies that David Njoku is a threat to Oronde Gadsden. If you think that, it's unbelievable. I mean, just pack it up. Pack it up. We're drafting like we're correct. We're drafting like Oronde Gadsden is going to play a full season like he did last year for that stretch of 4 games, I think it was, that he was balling out. He was so fun. And I had him in a bunch of dynasty leagues. Just I love taking tight ends later in those rookie drafts, especially the athletic guys. And he's one that panned out, to some degree. So that's awesome. But yeah, shout out to you guys, man. Shout out to Cameron for being here. Shout out to Brent for being here. Troy for being here. Fantasy Football Enjoyer for being here. We got Christopher in here. Shout out you, man. Jack's been in here tonight. This has been a good time. We got a couple picks till we're up, and we'll see what's going on. Troy says some people will pick quarterbacks like that to trade them later on. Yeah, so Troy, in best ball, there's no trades. No trades in best ball. I could see it in especially a super flex redraft league. A lot of people do that strategy. It's really annoying. This guy doesn't even have a single stack with Jared Goff. Just completely naked Jared Goff is unbelievable. He's also got naked Caleb Williams too. So this guy, man, the people you meet on DraftKings or Underdog, the people you meet in the best ball streets, just unbelievable. Trust me, Njoku packed it up middle of the season last year when he realized Fannin had the juice. Yeah, dude. I've always loved Njoku. I'm a big Njoku fan because I was drafting him before it was cool years ago when he was first coming out. So I've always been a fan of his. And, here we are. And, yeah, I just Harold Fannin completely outperformed him. All right, we're on the clock. I think we are going to go Goddard. Yeah, Goddard kind of fell to us there, right? Yeah. I think that's a crazy value on Goddard. Got the Goddard and AJ Brown stack. All right, so we got 2 tight ends. We can kind of chill on tight ends. I'm probably going to need to draft some receivers here, or receivers. I just love receivers. No, we need to draft some running backs. So let's take a look. If Woody Marks could fall to us, that'd be fantastic. Don't think it's going to happen. Here's my guy, Keaton Mitchell. I didn't get to talk about this yet, so we're going to talk about it now. Keaton Mitchell, man. I don't know if y'all have seen the video of Joe Ortiz. Let me pause. Let me hydrate. Coca-Cola Zero. Joe Ortiz said in a press conference that when they brought Mike McDaniel here, Mike McDaniel was going around the facility putting up wanted posters for 2 specific players, Keaton Mitchell and Alec Ingold, the fullback. He's putting these wanted posters up saying he wanted these guys, and he loves Keaton Mitchell. They thought the Ravens were going to tender him. Ravens did not, and so as soon as free agency opened, they sent out the offer, Keaton Mitchell to the Chargers. Y'all remember the Dolphins when Mike McDaniel first joined over there? He had 2 running backs. He had a Devon Achane, a very fast, nifty guy, and then he also had a Raheem Mostert, who was he was fast as well, very fast, but he was more the power back, I guess you would say. He was the goal line guy. Both of those guys were fantasy studs that year. Both of those running backs. That was fantastic. And so you got Marion Hampton, and I think there should be some questions about Marion Hampton. I feel like the industry's kind of torn on him, right? Because they really like his prospect profile coming out of school. I think that he's fast, he's big, he fits the mold, right? But last year, his performance was just it was lacking, you know what I mean? And so you've got him coming in, and now you've got Keaton Mitchell, and Mike McDaniel loves speed. He pushed them to draft Brennan Thompson, who's a 4.3 guy in this year's draft. And there goes Keaton. Just an unbelievable snipe as I'm talking about him. I got to stop talking, dude. I got to stop talking. I got to chill. All right. So, and that was both running backs at that point. Let's see. Who do I have ranked highest? I think Sadiq might be the pick here, which would be, yeah, we're going to go Sadiq. We're running out of running backs here, fellas. Running out of running backs. This is the hard part with the 0 RB. So we've got our 3 tight ends. I think that's a pretty good tight end room. I don't think we need to draft 4. And man, let's go back to Keaton. I just think that he's going to get on the field. He's going to play. I think Kamani Vidal will also play. I think Kamani Vidal is also a trade option for other teams. I think Vidal earned a lot last year in the time that Hampton was out. So it is you are betting a lot. You are wish casting a lot. Keaton Mitchell had a major injury 2 years ago, but when he was on the field last year, his explosive run rate was like one of the highest in the league. And obviously, it's a small sample, but the guy was just making big plays. And now you put him in an offense with Mike McDaniel with a solid O line, and I just think, man, that he's going to be a very, very good pick. So let's get to some of these comments here because I've just been yapping my jib. Cam says, you got any specific teams that you're staying away from or just look for high-powered offenses? I kind of want to get a little bit of all of them, right? I think you can kind of shoot yourself in the foot by staying away from teams that have bad offenses. Like, for perfect example, last year was the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland Browns offense is terrible, right? Where are we at? ADP. Are there any running backs? Can I please get a running back? We are going to pull up Dylan Sampson. I'm going to pull up Dylan Sampson. We're going to draft him. I'm okay passing up on some of this value here at receiver to get some running backs because people are all going to be scrambling for him here shortly. So back to what I was saying. If you were avoiding the Browns altogether, you missed out on Harold Fannin. And I think he was a smash pick. I think good players can produce in bad situations. And so you never want to fade a team fully, but you do shy away from them. So like I'm shying away from the Browns again this year. I'm shying away. I don't think they're going to be very good. They got two of the worst quarterbacks in the league on the roster. But I think that they can target Harold Fannin, and especially the way Fannin plays, he's, he can catch the ball down the field, but he can also catch a lot like out of the backfield, little screen passes and make something happen. So still like him. I still really like Casey Concepcion. I think that he's a very good player. And, for as bad as Shador is, he does launch, like he airs it out. He's kind of got some Jameis Winston to his game. And so, I am interested in some of the pass catchers like Denzel Boston. I've kind of drafted some, but high-powered offenses, like I do make bets on offenses, and I've got some pretty strong feelings that the Chargers are going to have a really good offense this year. I think the Chargers, Cowboys, like Ryan Flournoy would be a smash pick here. Shout out to Cameron. He took him earlier. I think the Saints is probably one of my favorite offenses for this year. I think that they are going to be very good. I think Kellen Moore is just an absolute genius and stud. So yes, I do. I try to balance it out, and I like to try to stack guys so that I'm making sure that I'm getting, a good amount of upside players. Oh, Sean Tucker's there too. Oh, did he just get taken? Ryan Flournoy just got taken. Dude, this is unbelievable, fellas. Unbelievable. What are we doing? Oh, man. There's Isaac Tesla. He's looking me in the eyes. He wants me. We're going to go with B-Rob, I think. I prefer, you know what? We're taking Sean Tucker. I prefer Tucker. B-Rob's the play if, Bijan goes down, but like, what do you win if you win? You got to ask yourself that question. And B-Rob, just bad. I just think he's bad. So that's coming back to all that. I do look for the high-powered offenses. I think the Chargers, I think the Saints, the Cowboys, Lions, of course, are going to be good. But I'm not shying away from teams like the Dolphins either. I think there's a lot to be gained if you get the guy from the Dolphins that plays well. And it might not be Devin Achane this year. I actually think that Greg Dulcich is a good pick. The tight end, because there's like no competition in the tight end room. I think Malik Willis is going to need to lean on his tight end, and so they're going to be throwing to him. And then the receivers is just a mess there, right? You could take your Chris Bell if you really believe that he was like a first-round talent prior to the injury, but I don't know, man. I think the receivers I do kind of shy away from, but there is edge to be gained. We'll say it like that. All right, so here we go. Terrible is watching Deshaun Kaiser go 0-16. Yeah, dude. Yeah, Deshaun Kaiser. Gosh, I would have been perfectly okay to never hear that guy's name again. Just so bad. Brent said, I've been trying to be at 2.551 through round 13 this year. Feels like there's almost no running back value. Oh, sorry. I got to make a pick. You know what we're going to do? We're going to take Emmanuel. So we're set. We're drafting running backs and tight ends. We've got 4 rounds left, baby. 4 rounds. You guys are going to like this team. Make sure you stay to the end because you're going to like this team. I'm going to show you that zero RB can work in 2026, and it can actually work really well on DraftKings. So what I was going to say is that we're going to bring up. We're not going to draft him way too early, but we are going to get some George Holani on this team. We'll buy that backfield. We'll buy the guy who's going to beat out Jadarian Price. It's going to be one of Emmanuel Wilson or George Holani, just because I don't think that Jadarian Price is really all that good. And we're going to make that bet. But anyway, Brent, I think that's a great idea. I think being balanced is good. I think you always should mess around with structures, right? I think you should try some different structures. You should try the zero RB, and DraftKings is a perfect way to try that because there is more rounds for you to get more of these running backs. So I think you could definitely do that. But I don't think it's a bad thing to be balanced. But you just never know what's going to happen in the season, right? Right now we're drafting these guys with confidence. Like we know these guys are going to be solid, and unfortunately, we just don't know what's going to happen. We really, really don't. I'm sorry. I do so bad at bringing up the draft board. I always forget. So we've got the draft board back up so you can see that. Sniper Chris Kyle must be drafting in this, dude. Yeah, I'm getting American snipered right now. Ryan Flournoy, Keaton Mitchell. I didn't take Concepcion, but yeah, this guy's been sniping me. Really had. Oh, he took McBride earlier too. That was crazy. So yeah, pain. And yeah, see, here you go. Chris Bell's going this early. I'm going to take the low guy in the Dolphins offense. I think Malik Washington would be the guy. He's a fabulous pick. Who are we talking about? Don't tell me that I take a good bit of price, but then again, it's a bunch of $3 leagues, and he goes pretty late after Jalen Warren on sleeper. Yeah, so that's the thing, right? Like Jadarian Price goes in a range where it's not crazy to take him. I've taken Jadarian Price, but more often than not, I find myself betting that he's not going to be the guy. And I guess the other running back got taken. Can I see this? Who was the other running back there that I saw on ADP? We're going to put Calvin Ridley in here. But I thought I saw another running back that I liked. I guess not. Maybe I'm tripping. I'm probably tripping, fellas. It's getting late. So yeah, Jadarian Price goes in a range where it's not bad to take him, but I just find myself making the bet that he's not going to be the guy, and I can get either Emmanuel Wilson or George Holani way late, or try to get both, and kind of buy the backfield until Charbonnet comes back. And here's the thing too, we don't even know if Charbonnet is going to come back or be effective when he comes back. Like imagine a world where the Seahawks are, below 500 by week 10 when Charbonnet is projected to come back. And the rest of the division is balling out. Rams have almost clinched it at this point. You've got the 49ers. They're, probably pretty good. Who's the other team in that division? This is bad. I don't know this off the top of my head, but, anyway, we're making that bet, that by that time they can play Charbonnet, but why are they incentivized to rush him? They may project him out at week 10, but what's 2-3 more weeks? What if by week 10 he gets put on PUP and he's 4 weeks out from that point? And then it's week 14. That's playoffs, and then what if they're just out by then? So they're just going to go, okay, well, we're just going to see what we got in Jadarian Price. And maybe by that point, he's not good. And so we're going to go with the 1-2 punch between Emmanuel Wilson or George Holani and figure out which one of these guys is good. Go with the hot hand. And I've got both guys on the team. So you can see how it works out. Obviously, I'm really good at convincing myself this is going to work. I could be totally wrong. I think we will take Vidal here. I need to look up where Holani goes. Or where is Holani? 227. So we're getting kind of close to him. We are going to take Vidal. I'm taking more running backs. I'm going to take those 2 running backs, and then I'm going to slam some receivers. But I was going to say Dontavian Wicks and Malachi Fields. I'm pretty interested in this late in the draft. Chris Brazel's another one that I'm going to be probably bringing up. Troy Franklin, maybe we get a couple spike weeks from Troy. I don't know. But anyway, you can make the case that drafting these other 2 running backs from the Seahawks is going to be the more advantageous play. And, could be wrong. And if I'm wrong, I didn't spend that much on them, and I'm hoping that Samson or, Sean Tucker, Kamani Vidal, one of these guys hops into a starter spot. So, yeah, A.D. Mitchell's a good pick. Yeah, I agree. And he got taken right before me. I would have loved to gotten some A.D. Mitchell. I do prefer Calvin Ridley over him, so I probably wouldn't have taken him there. People are way too low on Calvin Ridley. This guy is actually a dog. And this guy, Dino Trop, is a dynasty player. This is a dynasty football player. You can always tell in best ball when the dynasty players come out because they just take all the rookies. This guy right here is also a dynasty player. They're drafting like it's a startup. Antonio Williams and Katron Allen before Hunter Henry. Like, what are we doing? I don't know, man. This is scary to me because this could be a whole lot of zeros this year. And believe it or not, these later round picks actually do matter. So Brent says, I really like the late round Broncos and Ravens wide receivers. Yeah, Elijah Surratt is actually one of my favorite guys to go grab. I do really like him. Dude, Dontavian Wicks, man, if he falls to us, we're golden, fellas. But Troy Franklin, I think, is good. He's going to be good for some spike week stuff. Surratt, look at Surratt all the way down here. Holani's still a ways off, so we can wait on him. Pat Bryant, Big Pat, my co-host who's typically on here. He's a big Pat Bryant guy. And you know what? We could just take Pat and Troy. We've only got, what round are we in? Because we've only got a couple more picks. We got 2 more picks. So this is where it gets hard, right? There's a lot of guys I like back here. Fantasy football enjoyer. Yeah, dude. Justin Jolly, top of my list for sure. I love this. I love this pick. If I could get Justin Jolly, which I could, I'm not going to because I think I'm pretty good at that position. But you know what? I am going to take, let's take Big Pat. We're going to take Big Pat. I know I should have taken Wicks. That's like the best pick. But, at this point, ADP is kind of out the window. We got one more pick, and we're hoping for George Holani. We're hoping for Holani. If Holani doesn't fall, we're going to take Troy Franklin. We're going to have the 2 Broncos receivers behind Jalen Waddle and Cortland Sutton. Who's to say Jalen Waddle doesn't get hurt this year, right? Jalen Waddle is he just is hurt all the time. It's unbelievable. Michael Penix is actually a great pick here too. Look at how late he's going. That's crazy because I definitely think he's going to start the back end of the year. But, are we really believing that Troy Franklin's going to be starting like the full season? Like he's not going to get hurt at all. This guy was like out of the first half the year last year. Played like 3 quarters per game. That's the hardest part. But yeah, Cameron says, I don't know why, but I love Darnell Washington. He just got paid. Dude, I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. Darnell Washington's a good pick. Honestly, if you wait on tight end, you can buy that tight end room, get both Pat Freiermuth and Darnell. I like both of them, right? I think the Steelers' offense should project to be better this year. I'm not saying they're going to be crazy, but you're going from a run-heavy system in the Tomlin era with Arthur Smith running a lot of 13, now to Mike McCarthy. I think Mike McCarthy really likes Darnell. I saw an interview about it today where he's talking about Darnell and how much he just loves. He was gushing over Darnell. Man, fellas, we might be taking Penix here. I'm not gonna lie. Dude, look at this. Look at this, dude. Troy Franklin. I'm getting sniped in round 20. What is happening? What is my life? Might be Penix. Did Halani go? No, Halani. There it is. There it is, fellas. Team full. We're going to look at that in just 1 second while I finish my diatribe on Darnell. But yeah, so Mike McCarthy was just saying how much he, was impressed by Darnell. They just paid him, they just re-signed him. The Steelers obviously love him. And dude is good with the ball in his hands. Like, he's just such a big guy. He's hard to take down. Man, I love Darnell. I think he's really good. I think Pat Freiermuth is pretty good too. Like, and this is coming from a Steelers fan. So you can trust me. I'm not crazy like the rest of them. I'm crazy. We're going to win the Super Bowl this year. Brent said Surratt. Yeah, Brent, I think Surratt makes a lot of sense. That's really the pick. I think Surratt's going to be the better player, right? But for this build, I kind of prioritized getting Halani to match up with Emmanuel Wilson to make sure that I've got my my bought backfield. So, all right, fellas, we're here. Let's leave. Can I pull this? Let me see if I leave. Well, we're going to pull that team up real quick, and we're going to take a look at it. Contests. And we're going to look. Was it this? Wait. Well, that was dumb. Let me see if I can get back in. Oh, can I look at lineup? Hold on. Wow, I might have just screwed this up, fellas. Okay, hold on. Here we go. All right, so that is not the team I just drafted. It's this one. No. Come on. All right, I'm having a senior moment. Here we go. All right, y'all ready? He said they really should give you more picks. Still so many reasonably solid picks here. Yeah, that's the hard part about best ball. That's why I think around 18 and Underdog, around 20 on DraftKings, you definitely should be taking shots at these guys and not just being a slave to ADP. Like, you don't want 30, 40% of a player that goes in round 18 just because he goes there. Overdraft somebody. Pick one of these random dudes. You never know who might pop off. Yeah, and he's another 24 picks he could easily rally off. Dude, I could probably go for another 10 rounds. I'm not going to lie. I played too much Dynasty, so I know. And enjoyed watching the draft. Just found you searching DK Best Ball streams. Def, hit the like and subscribe. We'll watch more in the future. Thank you, Brent. I really appreciate that, dude. Thank you for being here. And we're going to end it tonight, but we're going to look at this lineup. So I'm going to show you how zero RB is manageable in 2026. And this is how we win. I wish I could bring this up bigger. Let me zoom it. I'm going to zoom it. Hold on. All right, you ready? Here we go. We got Justin Herbert, Travis Etienne, Bashal Tootin. Who is our other running back? RJ Harvey. He's good for some spike games. And then we've got a mass of running backs. George Halani. We've got Emmanuel Wilson, Kamani Vidal, Sean Tucker. If the Bucky stuff goes south and Bucky's not playing, Sean Tucker's the goal line back. And we've seen him have huge games throughout the past 2 years. Dylan Sampson's another one. Quinshon Judkins came off. His leg was pointing the opposite direction at the end of last year. And so if Quinshon Judkins were to be hurt, Dylan Sampson ends up being the pass catching back and the starting running back. They don't have Jerome Ford. So Dylan Sampson could be a great pick. So we've got some high upside running backs there. And then in the wide receiver spots, we've got Amon-Ra. We've got AJ. We got Garrett Wilson, who I expect to bounce back. We've got Jamison Williams. We've got Pat Bryant, Josh Downs. We got Calvin Ridley. Look at that team. I mean, that's just awesome. Actually, the first draft we did on Underdog, I got Josh Downs. He was my third receiver. Now he's my fifth receiver. I like that way better. Josh Downs is my fifth receiver rather than my third receiver. And then we got the double quarterback. We got the Justin Herbert, and we got Bo Nix. And at tight end, we got a mix of Aronde Gadsden, Dallas Goedert, who fell to us, which was a great one, and Kenyon Sadiq, who I like. He'll be our third tight end, which I think is perfectly reasonable. A first round tight end as my third tight end. That's awesome. So this just goes to show that you can definitely win. There's definitely a way this team wins this tournament. You can tell yourself the story that it's going to happen. Might find a Puka somewhere, $1 million find. Yeah, dude. If you were drafting Puka, that's the thing. Puka was getting undrafted in best ball drafts the year he came out because nobody was picking up a 5th round receiver that nobody had heard from that the Rams drafted, not until later in the summer. And if you were drafting him, you were getting him in the 18th round. And imagine your 18th round pick playing like a 2nd round pick, playing like a 1st round pick, whatever. So anyway, that's it, guys. We just drafted 2 best ball teams. I think we did pretty well. I really appreciate everybody for being here. This was a lot of fun. So once again, I'll end it like this. If you haven't already, like the video, subscribe to the channel. We're live either Friday or Saturday. We kind of mix it up, but we're live every weekend doing some best ball drafts, talking strategy, talking player takes, all that good stuff. We're always hanging out with you guys in the comments. So, keep coming back. We got shows going on throughout the week. You can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. We got content going up there all the time. You can go over to fanfeednetwork.com. You can go look at the website. That's our mothership. We've got a whole merch line of custom logos for all 32 NFL teams. They're awesome things for your favorite team. And just check it out. And once again, I'll say thank you for hanging out. And we will see you all next time, next weekend. So y'all have a great rest of your evening and peace out.